Okay, so in that case, first they have to be half filled before they go for the pairing up of electron. When pi 2px, pi 2py or antibonding pi star 2px and pi star 2py, in these cases, first half filling should take place before the electrons get paired up. That is the only point to be noted. Okay, so now look go for the bond order. How to calculate the Zuhair? How to calculate the bond order? Half into, because it's half of the number of, how many electrons in bonding? 10 are there, okay. And? Minus 6. So what will be the value you will get? 2. So what is that implies? What is the meaning of bond order 2? Yeah, oxygen molecule is stable because it's not zero. If anything is greater than any value higher than the zero, mean it is stable. And also you can say it is oxygen makes a double bond with oxygen molecule. It's OO double bond. And what is the magnetic property? Paramagnetic, because there are unpaired electrons over here. You can see here one electron over here, and it is an anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So they are paramagnetic. So this is how you will be doing any question asked in the exam. Only first thing you need to know that till oxygen the order is different from the oxygen and other elements. So 2 sigma 2pz is coming before pi 2px and pi 2py for oxygen and above. So that is a one point to be noted. Secondly, when it is pi 2px, pi 2py or pi star 2px, pi star 2py, they should be undergo half filling before they go for pairing up. That is the second point. Then you can look for the number of unpaired electrons or presence of unpaired electron for their magnetic properties. If there is no unpaired electron, it will be diamagnetic. If there is at least one, then you have paramagnetic. One unpaired, at least minimum one unpaired electron makes the compound paramagnetic. So that is out about oxygen molecule. Is that clear? Any doubt to anyone?
Ma'am, will we be asked for molecules that are that are more than oxygen, as in nitrogen or fluorine or something?
Come again, Steve.
Ma'am, we only know this MOT for till oxygen, right? Say there.
Not, not till oxygen. They can ask for any molecule. Till oxygen, the order was different. From oxygen and above, the order was different. That is the only thing we said.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. But as I said, sigma and pi combinations only we are learned. Sigma, but delta and all is when it is comes with d orbitals, and we are not dealing with that. So that means you can think about only first 10 maximum.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So
Ma'am, thermodynamics is the same chapter, a new chapter.
that is a new chapter. This is was part of bonding molecule chapter, and the notes are already uploaded. You can refer it over there. The PPT notes are uploaded. Yeah, MOT is over. This was a question, but I just want to give you one more another way of asking the question. If in a sample, like sometime rather than giving you a molecule itself, they may ask you to try the MOT, explain the MOT for some time, the ions like this, to check, compare their stability, to explain something like that. So even in this case, you can follow the same rule, but only thing is that the number of electron is different. Yeah, add and subtract like accordingly. But all of them are molecule. We are doing molecular orbital theory for molecules, diatomic molecule. That is the only thing which we are dealing. Here also all of them are diatomic molecule, but within an ionic state. So it's like molecular ions. They are known as molecular ions. Okay, they are molecular ions. And here you can see normally oxygen is 16 electron. Here it will be 15 electron. And here it will be 17. And here it will be 18 electron. So you can compare their magnetic properties, you can compare their stability. But the rule is same, right? The electronic configuration, then you can apply the same rule in all these cases. Maybe you can arrange them in the order of their stability. All this can be asked. Stability mean you have to calculate the bond order, and magnetic property mean you look into the number of unpaired electrons, presence of unpaired electron.
Ma'am, ma'am, more unpaired electrons means it's more paramagnetic, right?
Yeah, so here we just now found that in 60, like normal oxygen, there was 2 unpaired electron.
Okay, so 15 will have 1, right? And 17
Yeah,
will
here
have
you
3.
will have 1. Here also you will have 1. And
Sorry,
here you will not have anything because it might have paired up by the time 18, right? 2 more electrons, 16. So how you will arrange the
minus
magnetic
is
property?
most stable, right?
Yeah, this is diamagnetic. Rest 3 are paramagnetic, but most of the more paramagnetic property will be there for oxygen molecule because there is 2 unpaired electron. So you can always compare there, like that you can calculate the bond order in each case. What will happen to the bond order? So let's do that question now. Calculate the bond order in all these cases, all the 4. Check only the bond order.
Ma'am, when we write the electronic configuration, it will still be using the second one, right? For the ones from
For
oxygen and
anything above oxygen, yeah, you will be using that only because it's just the modification in oxygen molecule, right? So only you have to write the oxygen molecule, okay? Then you from there you do the modification. Say example O2 plus mean you just remove 1 electron from the electronic configuration, return for oxygen, like that. So bond order was, if I write the bond order, for oxygen we calculated it as 2. For O2 plus, what is the bond order? 2.5 you will get because it is 10 minus 5. 2.5, okay. O2 minus what will be the bond order? 1.5. O2 2 minus. So as per the stability thing, O2 plus is supposed to be greater, more stable because its bond order is 2.5. But if you look into their magnetic properties and all, then O2 2 minus is diamagnetic and supposed to be more stable. So that means under different conditions, the same molecule can behave differently. That is what this MOT theory is explaining. But anyway, this is not a completely perfect theory like other, but it could explain some of the properties of formation of molecular orbitals, etc. That concept was new at the time when it was introduced. I hope MOT is clear to all of you.
Ma'am, the bond orders can be decimals, right?
Can be in decimals, yes. Any doubts in MOT?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so that means we are good to go to thermodynamics. You can refer always, the notes are uploaded. You can refer it and come back to me if you are feeling any queries or any doubts with this topic. States of matter we are done, no? Yeah, that much only is there as per the syllabus.
Only till partial pressure, ma'am?
Yeah, that was the last thing we discussed, right? Because that ideal gas theory and all is not required.
Okay, ma'am.
Only numericals with ideal gas equation, that much is only there. Kinetic gas theory is not important because as per the new syllabus, updated one. Okay. So let's start thermodynamics. We'll do the introduction part today, then we'll continue. So what is the meaning of thermodynamics? What is the meaning of thermodynamics? What is thermo or thermal means? Heat.
Study of
Ma'am,
heat.
heat, I guess something related to heat.
Heat or thermal energy, you can say, right? So it's actually two words. Thermodynamics means thermal, thermo, whatever that is related to heat or thermal energy. And what is dynamic? What do you mean by dynamic? Sometime we use that word.
Ma'am,
Some
like
dynamic
properties.
personality. Huh?
Properties,
Properties. What properties? Dynamic means.
like how it works.
We used to say that he got a very dynamic personality. He's a dynamic person. We used to refer like that. Dynamic.
Ma'am, it shows multiple behavior. It shows like it doesn't have one behavior in sorts. It has like it shows different types of it can do many things basically.
It's not about to multiple personality or something. It's dynamic mean something is happening, always moving. Something is happening. It's like related to movement or the motion of a substance. All the time they will be always doing something. It's like very energetic. You can say the other way.
Full of energy.
Dynamic. It's related to the motion or the movement of a substance or a particle. That is what dynamic mean. So thermal energy and dynamic and how it is related to chemistry. Thermodynamics mean thermal energy and the movement. Okay, if I take these two meaning together, how the
Ma'am, the
where
electrons in atom.
electrons in an atom, they are moving, that's correct, they're dynamic. But where is the thermal energy in that? Because in electronic excitation is usually not thermal energy.
I mean, the movement of molecules, like the
I mean,
vibration of molecules.
So that your volume was very low. You are not clearly audible.
Oh, sorry.
Can you repeat?
Ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So the movement of molecules due to heat energy, what we saw before also.
Okay. Anyway, I'll without much confusion and all. Here we are dealing with energy changes that is moving in and out of an energy during a chemical reaction. The energy associated with or the movement of energy really during a chemical, because thermodynamics is a very vast area. It's all you're also learning in physics. In physics also you will learn thermodynamics, and that where there you will handle another aspect of thermodynamics. It's not only related to chemistry, but here in chemistry the thermodynamics you're dealing is related to the chemical reaction and the energy changes taking place during the chemical reaction. So this is what you are doing in chemistry. But other aspect of thermodynamics that you will learn in physics as well. So those who are interested to take engineering, mechanical engineering, that kind of field, thermodynamics is a very, very important topic because it's related to, because you know, working of an engine is because if you're using a diesel or petrol or something, the big ignition of that is actually giving energy for the car engine or whatever you take. It's related to the energy and their movement, in what direction the energy is taken in or given out, or how the energy is making a difference in the arrangement of the particle in the molecule, the state changes associated with it. And there are different terminology, not only the energy can be explained in a different level. So that is what we're going to discuss in thermodynamics. Okay, so let's go to the syllabus. As per the new syllabus, you can see we have to discuss about the concept of system and surroundings. That is the first thing. That means the normal terminology. This part is like different terms which we gonna discuss in this chapter. You need to familiarize with different terminology. Then you will go for first law of thermodynamics, concept of enthalpy, second law of thermodynamics, entropy concept, and you have third law of thermodynamics, and numericals associated with all these enthalpy, entropy, free energy calculations will be there. So new terms you're gonna, because all these time we were simply using the word energy to explain everything. But it's not only about energy. There are different terms we have to use, like entropy, internal energy, free energy change. That also gives free energy change, and others different names are there. So that is what we're going to discuss in this chapter, chemical thermodynamics. That is why it is written, it's not simply written thermodynamic, it is chemical thermodynamics, because we are dealing only the energy changes taking place during the chemical reaction. We are not dealing the entire thermodynamic part. We are dealing only the chemical thermodynamics. Okay, let's start with a very, very simple basic concept, that is system and surrounding. Okay, so before we move to the actual definition, let me take an example. I'm doing a chemical reaction. I got a beaker. So those who are already started practicals will be knowing it. You are taking a test tube, you're taking the sample, you're adding the reagents into the same mixture. So example, I've got silver nitrate, and you have ammonium chloride. You're mixing them together in a beaker or a test tube. So this is the reaction taking place. So when we are conducting a chemical reaction, where you will focus? If you're adding ammonia, say example, ammonium chloride and silver nitrate, okay, and you're observing the changes taking place. You're supposed to get a white precipitate of AgCl during the reaction. So what you will be focusing when you're mixing up these two reagents? You will look into the test tube, or you will look somewhere else?
Look into the test tube.
Test tube.
Right, that's obvious. Because where you are doing an investigation, where you are doing a chemical reaction, that is the area under investigation or area under study. So that area where you are doing an investigation or you are doing an observation is known as system. So system is where a reaction is taking place. Most simply, you can say in a chemical reaction mean where a reaction is taking place, where you are mixing up different reagent. That is what system is. So system is the part of universe. If you take the entire universe, you know, it's very, very big. In that entire universe, the area where you are doing the investigation is known as system. The part of the universe, so only the contents you're taken in a beaker is the system. So during the reaction, you will observe only that. Maybe color change, maybe you look for the formation of a precipitate. Sometimes you will look for change in the temperature, because sometimes there are some reaction where you will look for change in temperature. You will use a thermometer, look the temperature after every 5-10 seconds. There are some other reaction where you will look for pH change. So whatever it is, it's not all the time you will look for colors. All the time you will not look for precipitate. It could be like looking for change in temperature, change in pH. Okay, all this is possible. Okay, so whatever you are observing, whatever the investigation you are doing, that area is known as system. So part of universe where you are doing the investigation or we are making your observation is known as system, and rest everything. Okay, outside the beaker, everything rest is known with the term surroundings. So system plus surroundings is the universe. So now if you give a system in thermodynamic refers to that part of the universe in which observations are made or you're doing an investigation. That part of the universe is known as system, and remaining everything will come under surroundings. Those who are not got a habit of writing the notes also, please take a fresh page in your notebook, start it from today. Now onward, no more excuse that you are not writing, because I'm reminding you people every. So you can write thermodynamics and symbol in one word definition is enough. What is system, what is surrounding? Then you can say system plus surrounding is equal to universe. Only in the three statement you can complete it. Surroundings mean everything other than system in universe. Everything other than system in universe is surroundings. And usually system and surroundings will be separated by boundaries. Here you can see when I looking into a chemical reaction, the boundary is the container. Whatever the beaker or the test tube, wherever you are doing the chemical reaction, its container, that is the boundary between system and surrounding. There will be always a boundary between system and surroundings. Because in thermodynamics now onwards we will be using these terms very frequently, system and surrounding, for it to explain the energy changes during the chemical reaction. So system means the area in the universe where you are doing a chemical reaction or we are observing something, that is what the system, and rest everything in the universe is surroundings. This is how you can simply represent. If you say the entire thing is universe, in the universe certain part is system, because if you're looking for any changes happening into a particular river, so that river is the system and rest everything will come as surrounding. So like it can be small, system can be small, as like small like in a nano state, like you can see that much small it can be, and it can be big also. It's based on which kind of experiment or research you are doing. It can be the size can be differs, but usually there will be boundaries which will be separating system and surrounding. The next part is classification of system. Classification of system. So based on its, okay, I'll do it next class because anyway it's almost time. 2 more minutes only left. So we'll continue tomorrow the classification part. And the internal energies, all that thing, we'll discuss it tomorrow.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, can you